Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Great, we're done here. If everybody could take their seats, we're about to get started. Thank you, everybody, for coming to 1 Million Cups. We always love seeing your smiling faces every Wednesday morning. Raise your hand if it's a first-timer here. Any first-timers? Got a couple? Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Got one in the back? I got you. Also, quick reminder, please check in on the 1 Million Cups app. You can provide feedback to the presenters, see more about the companies, etc. Also, this month, we are doing an attendance challenge with the 1 Million Cups in Fargo, North Dakota. And we need all of you to invite all your friends so we can pack the house every day this week. Not every day, every Wednesday. But we have a quick video we're going to show you. So Kyle, if you want to go ahead and take it away.
What does Fargo have in Kansas City? Absolutely nothing. Kansas City has the most engaged and lively entrepreneurial community in the country. We need you to come to 1 Million Cups every single week and bring a friend. As a matter of fact, bring two. We need to show Fargo that this is the home of 1 Million Cups. This is where it started, this is where it's best, and this is how we do Kansas City.
So listen to the mayor. We love Mr. James. So I'm going to have our expert panelists introduce themselves real quick. So please, if you would, tell us who you are.
Yes, I am Chris Cooley. I'm with Venture 360. We are a platform that helps workflow for investors that are investing in startup companies and companies that are raising capital. Been around the startup community, was in my first in 2007. Actually sat in 1 Million Cups when it was over across the hall, and there are about 10, 15 people in there. So been around a while and looking forward to hearing our presentations today.
Hi, I'm Ashley Hayburn, and I started Maker's Megaphone. It's a coaching business that helps creative entrepreneurs, helping empower them. People who are really good at making, I help people know about what they do and help learn how to really communicate better their physical products, how they get that out, and also do some of the business side of running a business with somebody who makes something that they've created. I just moved here 3 months ago. I originally grew up here, but my husband and I relocated here 3 months ago from New York City. Spent the last couple years working at Etsy, and I'm really excited to be here, being able to get involved in the maker and handmade community here in Kansas City.
Awesome, thank you for being here. And without further ado, we're going to get to our first presenter, which is Ben with Flightbright. Give a big round of applause for Ben. What? Sorry, what?
Good morning, everyone. How are you? 1 Million Cups is my favorite event, so I hope you are in the right place. This is a special opportunity, I suppose. My name is Ben McDougall, and I'm with Flightbright, but I'm also the MC at 1 Million Cups in Des Moines. And so it's a pleasure to be up here for the Organizers Summit this week. And in this case, I get to tell a little story about Flightbright, so I'm super excited to share what we're up to. Before we get things fired up, though, I know that all of us have a little smart computer in our pocket, and I figured this would be a fun little giveaway. So this is a little 1 Million Cups special Flightbright version of the glassware, and whoever gets loudest on Twitter will get one, and whoever gets loudest on Instagram can have the other, and then I'll have the other two. Sorry, they're not different. We have a time limit here. This is a beautiful sight, though, I promise you that. So let's start today by kind of thinking back. Think back to the last time that you ordered a flight of craft beer, and think of all the different choices that you had and the process that you went through of really selecting which one that sounded great to you, and then as they arrived, which one was which? You can nod your head because every single person has experienced this. And so whether it's that problem from the consumer standpoint, or whether it's the perspective from a brewery, a restaurant, or a bar, how are they supposed to differentiate themselves when the consumer can't even identify what they enjoyed about their place? Turns out craft beer is not hard to find. So we have come up with the future and the solution. This is the world's first electronic beer flight paddle. Our platform, as you can see, highlights each of the beers with the name and the style, and that color touchscreen connects to Wi-Fi, so it can transmit updated information, whether that's the IBU or the ABV or who it's made by, really tapping into some details about each beer. And then it allows the consumer to share their experience throughout social media and also rate that total experience right there in the tap room. To pair with the paddle, we're excited about the consumer-facing app that's going to allow us as beer lovers to go in and track your smart flight experience. And so it's definitely a neat opportunity to further engage in that beer and what you're enjoying. So from the consumer standpoint, you have your app, you have your paddle that's now alive and active and accurate. Behind the scenes, the industry and the establishments have a really neat responsive online dashboard. So they're able to check out not only what beers are popular, but every flight that was served. They're able to set up their social media campaigns, manage their active beer menus, and tap into analytics that can really guide their business decisions. And so it's been interesting to build this over the last 2 years. As a lot of us know, entrepreneurship can kind of be a lonely roller coaster, but it's been exciting, and as you can imagine, our customer discovery has been a pretty good time. And so after talking with a lot of people, we unveiled the technology at the Craft Brewers Conference in Washington, D.C. in April, and we have some paying customers that we're excited about. Some Iowa breweries are fully implemented with smart flights, and our first national customer just came online. They have 7 locations and are building 8 and 9. So it's a really neat opportunity to expose the technology to some of the larger folks around the country. Now, I'm sure we have a lot of people spinning and thinking, all right, so this beer paddle is cool, but I like wine. Or I prefer cheese, or maybe that whiskey drink, right? One of the things that I'm very proud of is the way that we've built our company in an aligned way so that we can not only have the branding prepared for new markets, but also the technology and the IP are also built to transcend into new markets. I mean, the quick numbers up here are obvious, each one is big, and so I think it's important to stay focused, and we've done a good job of that being in craft beer for now. But the roadmap for our product line is something that we're also very excited about. And when you consider such a big opportunity in each of those markets, I think team is the number one thing that we have to stay focused with. And so I'm so thankful to have these 2 guys on my team. Ben Sinclair on the right is just a wizard when it comes to technology. And so he's been able to bring a touchscreen to life and connected the entire online database so that the experience is fluid, while Ethan Davidson is just a guru when it comes to manufacturing and product design. Myself, I like to tell stories, and I'm kind of an idea machine who drives the marketing and sales for the company. So it's been a pleasure working with these guys, and we're excited to kind of use this stage, I suppose. Being at the mothership of 1 Million Cups, you guys are lucky. This is a neat opportunity to share our big news. So this is the very first time that I'm standing on stage and sharing that Flightbright is now raising capital. We have bootstrapped our company for the last 2 years and kind of reduced all the risks of product awareness or product fit, figured out how to interact with the market, and so the timing is perfect. And so I think before the question asks, how can the community help support us? I think, grabbing your phone and sharing Flightbright with maybe that restaurant owner or the brewery that you enjoy going to would be a nice way of kind of spreading the word, right? But if there are investors in the room or potentially folks within the community who could strategically weave into what we're building here, that's something that we're also excited with, and our investor pack is well prepared so that they can enjoy their experience learning about our story. Speaking of stories, this is the best part. Let's have some fun with the Q&A. Before we do, though, what do you guys think of Flightbright? All right.
Okay, first question. Can you break down the numbers a little bit for us? What's the cost of the product and what are you selling it for?
Yeah, absolutely. So the pricing is up here on my backup screen. I figured that might be a question. As you can see, we've really simplified the pricing from the establishment's perspective. So it's $10 per paddle per month. If you have 10, it's $100. We have some bulk pricing as you move towards 50. The app is super cheap, so it's just kind of a no-brainer. And it's a good way to segue into the consumer paddle. This thing is fully manufactured, so without losing sight of the electronic smart flight experience, we can supplement our profit line with a consumer, just a novelty item for the home bar. And so that's kind of the pricing from the buyer's perspective. Costs are something that we're eager to move our bill of materials down. We need it to be in kind of that $50 to $60 range per paddle. However, right now it's still in kind of that 80 range. So we're looking to, obviously, with quantity, reduce pricing.
Thank you very much for sharing this. I would love to hear a little bit more about how you're marketing this to the bars. Like how have you gone about doing that so far, and what do you plan to do?
Sure. I promise I didn't know these questions. So the marketing aspect is kind of my bag of tea, I suppose, and so I've enjoyed sharing our story, building community kind of as a core. I think the organic nature of our brand is something that's now valuable. All you do is put $1 or $2 on top of some of those efforts, and it can really expand quickly. And so as you can see here, our website is kind of the home base. It's got all sorts of great content about beer flights and the value of what samples can do for businesses. It's getting traffic from all over the place. Social media is super interesting. Like I mentioned, Twitter and Instagram are kind of our most active areas, but we're still on Facebook and throughout the social media landscape. Instagram's where craft beer lives, though, and so that's been an area that we've focused on probably most. Industry events, like I mentioned, the Craft Brewers Conference and those type of gatherings are really impactful for us. And then I think the best part about this product is you set it in front of someone at the bar, and eyes start gravitating towards it. Like the social currency of this product is really, really cool. And as they start sharing their smart flight experience throughout social media, turns out the other establishments are going to start seeing all that activity, brand awareness, and customer connectivity. And I'm not silly enough to say anything will sell itself, but that virality can start snowballing.
So question about usage so far, right? So I see this as multiple tiered sales, right? Like you have to sell it to the actual business unit, but then you have to get buy-in from the servers and the bartenders to use it, which is hard.
Yes.
What's your experience been there so far?
So it needs to work the first time or they'll never give it a second try. As most folks know, there's a fair amount of turnover. So making a product that's super intuitive and only takes one click or two to learn how it works is another good aspect of the product so far. One thing that we're excited about moving forward is POS integration. And so it's something that we are about 50% there, built, but know how to do it, have some really great POS platforms online. And what that's going to allow you to do is like beer A, B, C, D, paddle 2, done. So there'll be no time. And really when it comes to serving flights, some of the servers in the crowd might know that that's not their favorite thing to serve because of the time commitment. However, this is an option that reduces time while keeping durability. And so speed has been one of the primary things we've focused on.
We're going to turn it over to you guys for questions, so please get those hands up. We will start right up front.
Hi, Ben. Nice product.
Thanks.
Nice presentation, and you clearly, you and your team have put a lot of thought into how you communicate this all to your various customers. So I have some practical questions. I thought that thing was a tray, but I see it's got holes in it.
Sure.
So how does the beer actually get served? And before you go into that, how does it clean up? So is it dishwasher safe and all that kind of stuff? And you didn't say anything about customer response, so I'm curious.
Yeah, great questions. I'll try to answer all three in like a few sentences. So through our customer discovery, instead of having a flat bottom, it's actually harder to balance. And with a bottom, it grows grime in the corners. And so this is actually the smartest way to serve flights. You'll notice that as you pick it up, they catch about 90% of the beers. And the lightweight factor allows me to move these beers from table to table super easily. So the servability is definitely there, and that's kind of why we put that into place. That said, this is our first embodiment. So we have the ability to make this 6 or change the way that it looks, but this is kind of our favorite ergonomic flavor that really works well with the 4-quadrant touchscreen paired with the 4 quadrants of beer. To answer the last question, the customers absolutely love smart flights. I think that's one of the things that we initially went out and tackled was solving our problem of not knowing which one was which. And so after we solved that, we started to learn all these other connections for the establishment's perspective. And so we've really now shifted our focus into making it convenient, making it enticing for those breweries and restaurants. I feel like there was a second, but maybe clean up. Oh, sure. So these are absolutely water resistant. They work underwater, which is pretty cool. The only thing you can't really do is throw them in the dishwasher, not because of the water, but because of the heat. All the electronic components inside don't like that environment too much. But as far as cleanup goes, it's just as easy as a paddle with nothing on there. So that's on the durability side. Thanks.
A question in the middle.
Yes, on the revenue side, it sounds like then, is it two-pronged where you go both to the established bars and whatnot, and is it a branded product that someone could put their logo on that and only serve their brand to build their market?
Yeah, great question. So I think our primary focus is the industry, right? So it's the breweries, the restaurants, the bars, with electronic flights, with a business account for the app, and even as a swag item, right? So instead of buying a t-shirt at the bar, you buy one of these that doesn't have electronics in it, but it's got a can opener here and allows you to kind of showcase your love for that bar. In supplementing that revenue line, though, we realize the consumer market is huge, and so we're interested in pursuing that, but really our focus right now is the industry as kind of a SaaS B2B to C model.
Question up front.
Sure.
Great presentation.
Thanks.
Do you have visibility to the data that's generated? And if so, are you able to aggregate it across establishments?
So absolutely. When you are in the software game, you realize that this is basically just a delivery device for big data. Now, big data is a fun word to say, but it takes a long time to really develop something that's meaningful on an industry-wide perspective. However, that is something that we're intrigued by the value of in the future. Without sharing details of data between industry, perhaps competitors, we are able to provide them with all their data while still keeping kind of a global view from a company perspective.
I have another question in the center.
As director of sales and investments for a startup, I really like this idea, and I could definitely use this and apply what you guys are doing to the startup I'm working with right now. The question and congratulations, it takes guts and courage and deliver. I don't know, I was just making a joke with it, but how do you guys, the question I have is, who have you guys partnered, what kind of partnerships are you guys bringing to the table in terms of businesses? Who knows about it? What are your guys' goals with this? Are you guys looking to go to bars? Are you guys looking to go to distilleries? How are you guys going to partner this, and how are you guys going to make this the thing that bars absolutely must have? Bars and restaurants, I should say.
Yeah, thanks. I'll keep it focused on craft beer just for conciseness. But I think you look at a Granite City, a Buffalo Wild Wings, some of these establishments that know craft beer is cool, but have a hard time showcasing themselves as an authority in the space are kind of like our whales, right? If we sell like Flicks, for instance, they've got 9 locations. You put 100 of these paddles into each locations, that's $9,000 a month, you know? So there's some really neat opportunity to scale quickly with larger national organizations. However, I think it's because we like craft beer so much. It's interesting, we've almost targeted some of the smaller, more localized establishments first and realized that this is kind of an addition to their budget. And so although it's cool, it isn't quantifiably proven. And so I think there's a little time before we're able to walk into a place that doesn't serve a whole lot of beer, and all of a sudden this makes sense for them financially. That is one of the reasons why the app is so important, because it gives folks a way to kind of ease themselves into the Smart Flight experience at only $35 a month. And as they start connecting to their customers, we can go online with the full Smart Flight experience and kind of move them through that process.
Question
Another
in the
question
back.
up front.
Both at the same time.
Nice job on your presentation. Regarding the app, a couple questions. One, you mentioned there was a price on the app. Is the restaurant or the individual paying that? And two, is there any issue with people not wanting to download an app since they're right there at the restaurant and maybe just going to use it at that time?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the price would be coming from the establishment. We looked at Untapped as kind of our model. It's interesting, we're partners with those folks. Our entire menu is built on their API. And so if you have a beer in Untapped, which is everything, you're in our database, which is really kind of some of our secret sauce on the back end side. And so our friendship with Untapped is a neat opportunity to learn from them as well. And in this case, they charge about $50 a month, give or take. And so we wanted to not duplicate Untapped. You know, we're providing more of an experience for the flight, what pairs with what, and oh, by the way, since we're in your POS, now we know the nachos go well with that IPA flight, right? So it's that predictive suggestions that we're able to kind of tap into using the app, using the paddles. The last question, sorry, I got a little excited. Oh, I know. No one likes to download a new app, right? So right now, you're able to share the flight by going to a unique URL, which is built every time a flight is served. So that URL identifies the beers that you've had and then allows you to share that, you know, in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and check it in directly in Untapped. And so that would be a way around getting an app, going straight to the web version of it. But our hope is, as you've seen with a lot of websites, that top banner drops down, hey, download our app for a more rich experience. That's probably the direction we'll head with that.
Okay, question in the front.
Sure.
Hi, Ben. So, never thought I'd ever need one of these, but if I were in the restaurant business, I would be like signing up.
Everything else will feel prehistoric. I get so pissed off when I have flights now because I'm like, what is going on here? I don't know which one is which.
Okay, so a couple things. Kansas City is one of the largest craft brewers in the United States.
Absolutely.
Boulevard. I can see opportunities for them paying for it, the beer distributors. Now, I know some of them, you know, it's a balkanized business. There's 20 of them that serve the Kansas City metropolitan area. It's a government-protected, you know, monopoly. What about using QR codes so that, you know, you can scan it or near-field IoT that will, boom, pop up the thing right onto your phone? Those ideas been considered?
Yeah, absolutely. RFID technology is another play on that. It's kind of interesting. The new iOS is going to include the QR reader inside of your camera. So instead of the app that no one has, it might be a little easier to scan that QR code. It's also an interesting bridge between the app and any serving device. So maybe you don't have these yet, but you have this active sticker that talks to the POS. And so as that individual flight is served, that sticker is updated, and that's how you can identify which one is which through your phone directly.
Question on your right.
Hey, Ben.
Hi.
So I am here from Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, nice.
We also have huge brewery beer things going on. So we've had a lot of startups think around the same types of problems. It sounds like there's a chicken or egg problem of you've developed something that's really cool for the consumer, but now the breweries you've got to figure out what their pain point is. And so my question to you is, as you've gone to some of the smaller breweries, has it been proven that the thing you mentioned earlier about, oh, hey, this could help you sell more beer, has that been a key to you finding your initial target market?
it's interesting because they're already selling a fair amount of beer, and so this might add a little bump here and there, but where it really impacts it is going to be that social sharing. It's going to be, honestly, like the cool factor, the differentiation of a place that has something that's kind of hot compared to the next place that's not. And so, like I said, we're a little early to have quantifiable data that says this thing sells more beer, but I'm just so confident that it will, not only in the tap room, but outside of the tap room as well. Think of that wet piece of paper that you throw away after you leave. Now all of a sudden you're connected to it in your pocket, and when you go to that grocery store with the wall of craft beer, oh, by the way, you know, this Surly or this Boulevard is really interesting because I remember liking it from my Smart Flight experience.
Question in the center.
What would prevent a local microbrewery from just buying a few of your $20 consumer models versus leasing the $10 a month?
Sure. Well, there's no electronics in the consumer model, so they're welcome to have those. It might even be a lower barrier of entry to come in with some nice durable plastic paddles that look sharp, and then using the app perhaps with those to activate the Smart Flight experience. But now we're in the door. We're in the door, right? So once they realize the team and the product and the support that we provide, hopefully they'll move up, and as they believe in this product, they can kind of take it to the next level with the electronic version.
Question back left.
Sure.
I think that with collecting the data, you are really onto something, because that will enable the breweries and other places to sell beer to do a lot. But I think that app, so that people can develop it, if you can share directly from the app out to social media, that then becomes a huge exposure for the beer brands, and that, I think, it has a lot of possibility.
In the dashboard, you can set up the preloaded posts for Twitter or Facebook, right? So instead of hoping that you get mentioned properly, you're going to preload it with your handle so that it's accurately being shared with a short tag if you want to include all the beers and accurately titled as well. And so that kind of social awareness is so valuable, and we've made it really easy. From the paddle, it's kind of a bridge. You take your phone and go to a unique URL, but in the app, boy, it's already there, so it's even easier. I saw a question here too.
Hi there. Great presentation.
Hey, thanks.
So my question is around competition. So do you have any competitors in this marketplace? Is there anybody else building something or selling something like this? And then what's the do-nothing competitor? For example, how much does a wooden flight cost?
Yeah.
And are you going to have barriers with companies, with bars that don't want to put out the money for this, and they're willing to just use a nice wooden bar flight?
It's funny because you kind of answered your own question. I mean, our competitor is the low price option. These paddles are close to zero, right? So whether it's $1 or $2 compared to $10 a month, there is a new budget item that we're kind of introducing as an option. And so I think our primary competitors are the status quo. And I guess I'm okay with that. I think this is something that is kind of a new era opportunity for bars and for customers that I hope that they love. And so although the competitive scene is a little light right now because this technology is fresh, it's still something that we're conscious of. And the way that we came up with our pricing was built around what they are already paying for, right? So the POS system, the dishwasher they lease, things that they're already paying for, so that we can fit within that range and not be this like super expensive want item.
A question.
All right.
What can we as a community do for you?
Well, as I mentioned in the presentation, I love that question because I get to ask it each week in Des Moines. So it's, like I mentioned, an absolute pleasure to be here in Kansas City, the mothership of 1 million cups. I think as individuals, next time you hit the bar, next time you hit the brewery, think about this product. Have you heard of FlightBright, right? Maybe there's a phone call or a text or a tweet or an Instagram post that you can share and tag someone that might be meaningful introductions for us. And then also with that kind of big announcement from our company's perspective, we'd love to connect with folks who are interested in plugging into FlightBright and the future of smart flights. Cheers, everyone.
Okay, everybody, it's time for a mug club. If you've been to 10 meetings, 1 Million Cups meetings, or more, put your hands up. If you have not received a mug, leave your hand up. And John, I'm going to pick.
How about this guy right here?
There you go.
One of our new ambassadors. Please tell us your name and why you come to 1 Million Cups.
Yo, what's up, guys? My name is Kusal Kolaratna. I work at Bloom, and I'm volunteering my time here at 1 Million Cups as a caffeinator. Is that my official title? Yeah, so I'm happy to be here. Psyched to finally have got one of these things. Here you go, John.
Right on, man.
I'm going to turn you over to Kyle and Courtney.
Awesome. Okay, can you guys do us a quick favor? As Mayor Sly James mentioned at the top, we're doing an attendance showdown with 1 Million Cups Fargo all month long. We want to shoot a quick video for them. So can everyone in the wings make their way to a seat? Can you? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, go ahead and find a chair so we can really tell how many people are here. In the meantime, I want to say hello to all the other 1 Million Cups organizers who are out there. We have our 1 Million Cups Organizer Summit coming up the next few days. So if you're here from out of town, welcome to Kansas City. All right, so we're gonna shoot a quick video here for Fargo. So when I say 3, 2, 1, go, everyone's gonna say, hello from Kansas City, okay? It's very creative. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Yes, perfect. All right, so again, all September long, we want to be inviting new people in the door so we can really fill these seats and show Fargo how we 1 Million Cups. But it's also important to us all the time that we're bringing new people here to 1 Million Cups Kansas City, because we see ourselves at the front porch of Kansas City's startup scene. So if you have any friends who want to know what this startup community is all about in Kansas City, bring them here to help that process. We've recently started a new program we're calling the Caffeinator. So we've empowered some of our regulars to wear name tags and to say hello to all the new folks who are coming in the door. So if you are one of our 1 Million Cups Caffeinators, can you please stand up and wave? Excellent. Yeah. So these folks are ready to meet you. If you're new here or just want to learn more about what's going on around Kansas City entrepreneurship, be sure to grab the people with the name tags.
That was awesome, Kyle.
We did good?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. We are so excited to welcome to the stage our next presenter, Abdul with Vertique.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Abdul, founder of Vertique. I'm going to give you guys a quick backstory. At a really young age, I got interested in art. I loved it. You know, I wanted to be one of the artsy cool kids. But I quickly realized that I had no talent whatsoever when it came to the arts. I couldn't draw to save my life. I couldn't paint or whatever it was. But I knew deep down that I wanted to be part of this, right? Fast forward to a couple of years and up until now, I founded Vertique, and I'll let you guys be the judge of it if this is something that's, you know, can act as if I did something artsy. This is David. David Tilema is a Kansas City born and raised artist. He's actually doing some pretty cool things at the moment. In this picture, he's looking to create an innovative design that would now be used on our t-shirts. What Vertique does is we partner with artists such as David to create unique, innovative designs on limited run t-shirts, apparels, and accessories. And in turn, when we sell that, we split the revenue with such artists. You guys are maybe well aware of how artists don't have maybe time to run an e-commerce store or the businessy side of things. We take that burden away from them and put it under our brand, we sell it, and then we split revenue with them. The main thing with us is that at a very young, when we started, we figured that we are actually a double-edged sword, that in a sense, we are solving two problems at the same time. And this is because we had two different customers in a sense. We had the artists that we are dealing with, but we still have to sell these clothes. So we're also going to deal with the buyers, and we're going to be solving a problem for them. So the first problem is the one I already mentioned, which is the burden that we are taking away from these artists. The second thing is we figured that a lot of t-shirt brands out there, they have recognizable, designs. So for example, the famous Casey Charlie Hustle shirt, when you see that, it's just another Charlie Hustle shirt. It doesn't make the consumer feel unique. It doesn't set them apart from the crowd. We knew that we have the competitive advantage since we were dealing with artists from around the world. We had an influx of different designs that we could give our consumers unique designs that are going to set them apart from the crowd and make them unique in every sense. A Vineyard Vine shirt is a Vineyard Vine shirt. When you see that, it's just the same thing. We then decided that we're going to have designs, art designs, that are going to set our consumers, our buyers, apart from the whole crowd. These 3 designs here, like the one I'm wearing right now, are made by 3 different artists from different parts of the world. The master plan, the one on my left, was made by the gentleman, David Tilema, was designed by him. The one in the middle was made by an artist from China, Terence Lau, and the one at the end was made by an artist from Nigeria, Asha Bazaar. Currently, our main hub in which you can get our items will be our website, and this is a snapshot of our website with a products page. We also sell on Facebook Messengers, but mainly our website is where people can go and buy our stuff from. We also have the capability to be able to sell pop-up events, pop-up stores, and things like that, but our website will be the go-to place for now. And might I add that we've only been in business for about a month, so we're also looking at other opportunities to expand. This is a photo shoot we had recently in Chicago, and I put this picture on the slide just to kind of give you guys a feel of what the brand is about. Urban, artsy, dynamic kind of feel, and just also to show you guys how our clothes will look like on a real person. To wrap it up and to cap it all up, I wanted to share with you guys the current challenges we are having as a really early stage business. Marketing is huge. We believe that we have a great product and we have a cool story to tell, a cool, unique story, just like our t-shirts, that we can create a niche for ourselves amongst all the other t-shirt brands out there. We are all aware that there's 1,000 other t-shirt brands around. So for us, we know that the market is saturated, but then do we have a unique niche that we can grab, which is having artists give us unique designs in which we give back to the consumers. The main thing our problem has been the past month of launching will be finding our audience. So we know that the kind of people we want to sell to are urban, dynamic, really fast-paced people. But then we're trying to figure out where exactly we have to go to speak to these people. How can we get our product from where it is to them? How can we speak to them? And that's why I'm here today, to talk to the community to see if there are any marketing experts or any marketing strategies you guys might have used in the past that have worked. I would love to hear them, so I could go ahead and see how we can develop this thing in the next future. I'm looking forward to the next months and years to do this. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
I love any opportunity to give artists a chance to show their work. So I have a couple of questions I just want to start with. One is, when you partner with the artist, who has ownership of the work? So the print that's on your image, do you then own that?
No, we don't. When they give it to us, we are licensed to use it for 5 years, in which they are not allowed to use it, but they still own it. But since they're submitting it to us, it's in the contract that they will be licensing it to us, because we'll be paying back royalties to them for 5 years. After that, they can do whatever they want with it, but in that duration, we are only licensed. We're going to be the only people licensed to use it.
Okay. And my other question is, are you finding artists that already are known and have some sort of their own kind of following, and are you co-branding? Or, because I'm thinking in terms of even marketing, if they want people to be, buying your shirts, because is it someone that's more known artists, or are these lesser known people you're giving an opportunity to have a canvas?
So we work with all range of artists, be it known artists or just a college student coming out with really good designs and stuff. We don't have a specific kind of artist that we work with. Presently, we have majorly average artists who have some following, but we are looking to work with big artists, like known artists, because they are already like influencers in their own space, and it can help us as well with marketing. But generally, we work basically with a wide range of artists, be it influencers or just the ones starting out.
I love t-shirts, so I'm definitely interested. However, I don't know much about this space. It seems like a fairly easy business for someone to recreate. Can you tell me more about what exists that's like this and what your competition looks like?
Okay, so there is Threadless in Chicago. I don't know if anyone has heard about that, but they are more on the geeky side, you know, cartoonish kind of thing. We use real art, so we only take things that are artsy that can be on a wall in your house and things like that, and put it on T-shirt. That's where we are part. And yes, this is something that like a lot of people can easily recreate, but then it's we're one of the forerunners using specific art in doing this, and that's why once we scale, we're not afraid of competition. It's just something that we want it to be, that art should be available for people, and people could just be like that, you know?
All right, we're going to turn it over to you guys for questions, so please get those hands up. I'll get us started. What's your story?
When you say my story, personal story, you mean?
Yeah. How'd you end
okay.
up here? How'd you get into this business?
Oh well, I came here to the States a couple of years ago, and when I did a program in Chicago during my time in college, and I went to this art place, this art house in the middle of Chicago, where there are a bunch of different artists living in the same quarters and making art. And I'm always fascinated by the story I told you guys, seeing that the art was basically in this house, they made it in this house, they sold it in this house. I figured, why don't we take all this out and make it more mobile, let people be able to see this, let their work be everywhere. And that's how this initiative came into mind. And since then, I've been working on it, and we launched a month ago, so it's pretty exciting, yeah.
Question here in the center.
I love your product. How are you going about currently kind of sharing the stories of each individual artist that's working with you?
Yeah, so one of the major things that we used was that the picture you just saw in the beginning, which is of David, we actually did a mini movie in a sense of showing people how the designs are actually made, how it was created. That's how we're telling our stories. Like, this is not just something we pick from wherever. This is a whole process of us partnering with the artists, them coming up with a design, and then giving you the final product. Social media is really huge for us. That's what we're using. We don't have a lot of followers yet, but it's something that we are building currently, daily, giving our consumers and people following us the story, and giving them the information that they need so they could trust us more on what exactly we do. And does that answer your question? Yeah. Well, when you go on our website, the name of the artist for every individual shirt is here. So you can see Millennial by David Tilema. Also, at the back of the tag, the name of the individual is always on the shirt. So if you pick up your shirt and you want to wear it every morning, you can see the name of the person who designed that shirt. Another thing we're trying to employ soon will be that on the tag of the shirt, when you buy the thing you tear out, there'll be a little snippet, a story of who the artist is, where they are from, what their hobbies are, and things like that. So you can have that personal connection to the artist. But for that, we're still developing that. We're not there yet. But specifically, you can always have the name of the artist at the back of the shirt.
Question down front.
Hi, I really like the designs. So as an individual, currently I can go on a website like Teespring and upload my design, as crappy as it may be, because I'm not an artist, but I can go ahead and upload that and sell it directly to consumers. What are some of the incentives that you give artists
so they can go through you? I mean, like, do you promise to do, not promise, but you do marketing and all that? I mean, why would they go through another party rather than just sell themselves?
So like I mentioned before, the major thing is taking that burden away from them because they'll rather work on creating new fascinating art rather than just managing an e-commerce store or getting with the financials of the e-commerce or doing taxes and things like that. They'll rather just do what they love to do, which is creating art. So we market it for them. They don't have to do anything. All they have to do is create it, give it to us, we market it, we sell it, and when we give them their share of the money back, it's a huge share. For every shirt, they get $10 back. So if that's the case, they don't really have to go sell their shirts by themselves because in retrospect, when they sell by themselves, they're going to be getting that close to that $10 back in a sense. So they don't have any reason not to go with us rather than if they just want to do it themselves.
How are you going about getting the t-shirts made right now?
Currently, because we're a small business, we thought it was best for business not to have any inventory. So what we do is drop shipping right now. So when an order comes in, it's directly sent to our partners who make the shirt and then send it out. So that's easier just for business, so that we don't have enough inventory down and run on a loss or whatever. However, to answer your question, to go forward is that we're looking to leave that in the near future so we can produce by ourselves. And one of the at the inception of the things that we decided was we wanted to grow organically. So rather than just pumping a lot of money in, we wanted to grow as we make sales and stuff like that, and use the money we make into building the company.
Question in the back.
Okay.
Hi, great presentation. I'm not really educated on art or apparel, either case, but it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you know of Tom's Shoes, I'm sure you're aware of them, but I've seen the founder of Tom's Shoes present and tell his story, and one of the things that I kind of thought of as I was listening to you is, you're talking about finding your channel and trying to appeal to a market, and I think one of the things that resonated with the Tom's shoe story is how he was giving back, right? So every pair of shoes that's sold, they give shoes back to children that need them. So I'm wondering if you could come up with a way here, and again from a social platform, if there's something about your message that says we are, for every shirt sold, we are funding art programs that fuel, enablement for either children in the arts, things of that nature. And I just wonder if you could kind of leverage that to get you more exposure, as well as I think people in general like to feel like they're doing something for humanity, and if they're purchasing a T-shirt or a pair of shoes or whatever it might be, and I don't know what your margins are, but that may be enough to where it may spring you forward in terms of what you're trying to accomplish.
Thank you. We've actually thought about that, and we've actually tried to employ that. What happened was, at the beginning, we were giving our artists the opportunity that for every $10 they get back, they can give $1 to charity, and we are going to be matching that. It's something we're still working on, but just because it's still very early, and the finances and all those kind of things is still kind of like complicated at this moment. We're trying to leave that right now. Once we get bigger and like growing more, we'll definitely revisit that. But we've thought about it, and it's something that we'll probably employ.
Question up front.
One of the things I was thinking about is, because some people have touched upon it, but that there are so many places for people to buy a T-shirt. There are so many places for somebody to buy a T-shirt that has, or for an artist to have their work printed on a shirt. It's really figuring out like what makes what you're doing different. And even what the last person said, I was thinking about, you are empowering artists. That in itself is a social, even not asking the artist to give their money away, but that by the essence of what you're doing, like you are creating a platform, a canvas for an artist to show their work. But I was trying to think of, have you come up with kind of what is that message as to why someone would want to buy your shorts, or why, because marketing this, as you said, it's your biggest challenge. I think that is what, you have really creative products, it seems like it's a really good price point, but it's why, what is the catch? Why would somebody want to buy this? So I'm just kind of posing that to you as to,
Yeah. Well, that's a question I've thought about a lot, and I've come up with different answers. And one is because you come to our website because you have a different array of different artists who have different designs here. If there's an artist independently that's doing this on their own, it's just their own art. Here you see different kinds of art. I've also thought about the ones that, gives you the uniqueness of just having a t-shirt that's not recognizable, sparks conversation, makes you different from the pack, and things like that. So these are the kind of stories that we are looking for a way to put together and then tell it to our audience. Because that's the reason why marketing is what exactly we are trying to focus on to work on, is that we have the product, like you said, is pretty good. We have a cool story about empowering artists and bringing that back to consumers, but how do we get that story all put together and take it in front of our audience? Because it's 7 billion people in the world, and I know there's a bunch of people that will be interested in this. So we'll definitely have our market. We just need to find out who and where they are.
Yeah, and I even think the idea of you can own a piece of art for $35, really emphasizing for the consumer that, from Etsy, people were willing to spend more for something that has a story, that is handmade, that comes from a more human touch. So I think emphasizing, as somebody else asked, even the story behind the artists, who they are, what makes this unique, why this print, and I think that's a compelling hook for people. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about the artist who made the T-shirt you have on right now?
Oh yeah, so that's Terrence Lau, and he's an artist from China. I met him at school, and he does a little bit of art here and there, but basically. When I met him, we talked about partnering up and doing something, and it went all the way to make about 4 different designs. And at the end of the day, we decided on this one. Currently, he's doing some work out in China right now, but he's looking to come back in the U.S. to do some studio work and stuff like that. But
I think there's a more compelling version of that story. I like knowing Terrence. I like knowing that he's working in China, but there's got to be some specifics that are really interesting to me. And then your consumer has to be able to share those just as easily as you could.
Yeah, gotcha.
One more question I have is more on a practical side, the fulfillment process. Could you tell me a little bit more about what the back end looks like and how you do customer support and running, because you're essentially running an e-commerce store.
So once the order is placed, our company is notified. They print it out and they send it. It usually takes about a week. And if there's any problem with shipping or whatever to get it, the consumer can contact us via our website, and we can also contact. We can contact our dropshipping company to see where the problem is. We can also track where all these T-shirts are at every point in time. So usually when an order is placed, it takes about a week from order placement to delivery.
Question in the middle.
I like your concept and I like your idea. I have more T-shirts and more designer T-shirts and other T-shirts for more than I know what to do with. Probably if I didn't buy anything the rest of my life in T-shirts, I have about 6 months worth in my closet. And let's just say I had the sudden urge to buy another shirt. Why would I want to buy from you when I have Charlie Hustle and other brands, Ed Hardy, Charlie Hustle? Why would I want to buy your product over their products?
When you wear a Charlie Hustle shirt in Kansas City, does anyone ask you, what kind of T-shirt is that? When you wear a Ed Hardy shirt, people ask you, where did you get that? No, because it's Ed Hardy, it's Charlie Hustle. Everybody knows. No matter how big Vertic becomes, the designs are always going to be unique. And a lot of it also, Madam mentioned that most of our designs are limited run, so once you buy it, you probably won't see it again, So the reason why you buy a Vertic shirt is when you walk on the street and people see art, you're wearing art on your shirt, they'll be like, oh, that's a cool shirt. Where did you get that from? Oh, it's Vertic. And that's what we're trying to accomplish, to set you apart and for people to ask you where you get your shirt from.
Question back left.
Thanks. I just was taking a look at your website and then also looking at what you have up here. And it struck me, at least on the website, from what I can see, all of your artists are men. Do you work with many female artists? Because that doesn't look like very female to me. So I'm curious.
Yeah, well, like I said, we've been live for a month. We have a pipeline of artists we're working with. And trust me, we have women in them. And it wasn't anything conscious that the first ones we brought up were just men. They were the early ones that we started working with. But yeah, we have some in the pipeline, like a bunch of artists in the pipeline, and some of them are women. Yeah.
Question on your left.
So how are you currently building your digital presence? Because you are running an e-commerce store, your digital marketing has got to be really, really strong. So are you tracking your traffics with Google Analytics and stuff like that in order to kind of improve your conversion rate over time? Because whatever people land on your website, you should know whether or not they're converting, they're buying your products.
Yeah, yeah, we are. We're tracking that. Basically, we did a lot of Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and I saw how the people go on the website, and then if they're converting or not, or why they're dropping, how many minutes they're spending on the website. Right now, we're trying to go away from that a little bit, like with the Facebook ads and things like that. We're trying to actually go into influencer marketing. So trying to look for brands and people, organizations that we're going to partner with to create limited run T-shirts, as well as artists that are well-known, influential artists. We're looking to tap one or two to make T-shirts with, and put it on our website so people can come in here. Because we feel that with Facebook ads and Instagram ads, it's just another ad. With influencer marketing, people have a relationship with these people, which will prompt them into buying more than just seeing an ad out there. So currently, our next marketing strategy will be to use influencer marketing. But like I said, that's something we're still discussing, and I'm looking to hear from a lot of people here today.
Question in the center.
Hi, Abdul. Thanks for coming to Million Cups today. I really appreciate it. So some things I see really great in your marketing. It's a tough market. You got a lot of competitors. I've been learning to speak Japanese, and I have my Japanese friends. I send them Japanese T-shirts from a company in Long Island that prints really cool T-shirts. So I know there's a lot of websites out there you compete with. Your website looks great. One thing I would like to say, one of the reasons people come to Million Cups is to get some feedback. I didn't look at our materials on the app and read in a regular type font what the name of your company was. And it took till about 45 seconds ago for me to realize that that's not an L, that's a T, that you're not Verleek, that you're Vertique. That might be revisited, because I'm not the only one. I asked some other people around me. They all thought the name of your company was Verleek. So there's a lot of talented marketing people available to you. You may want to revisit that logo. That's my comment. Not really a question, but thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Interesting. Anybody feel that way too? Oh, interesting. I never got that before, but thank you.
I thought it was Verleek when I first saw it.
Oh, okay.
Little market research. Our final question, what can we as a community do to help you?
Well, like I said, I'm just going to also put this out there. For 1 million cups, we have a special discount going on. 15% off your entire order. So if you guys like the T-shirts, you can also feel the T-shirts right there. We have some samples, see how it is. But then, like I said, it's marketing, basically. Since we've been live for a month, now we're trying to bring out new products, like new collections of shirts and accessories. And we're looking for ways in which we can bring this out and take it in front of our audience. If anybody has any marketing strategy they've used in the past, or any marketing guru in here, please feel free to talk to me and after this, and we can see where we can go with that. But thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us this morning at 1 Million Cups Kansas City. Be sure and come next week, the week after, and the week after, and bring friends. Next week is Tech Week, so if you haven't yet, be sure and go check out the full events going on during Tech Week. Here at 1 Million Cups, we're very excited to introduce you to two tech companies, Prestio and Sentiment.io. So we'll see you next week. Have a good Wednesday, guys.